All right. Hey, everybody. It's the DailyWEE with Binge of the Body Whisperer. Just walking. There's the recreation center. Clemente Stadium is right over here. And then where I live is actually just up and under this. Right there, that's my apartment complex. Mine's actually the one closest to us. So I'm walking over there. I think I might do the walk long way around just to have a chat. So last night I went to Darkest Hour, the movie with Gary Oldman as the Prime Minister. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I got it in there. It's Winston Churchill. So he played Winston Churchill, and it's just kind of a story of when he was put into the prime minister position and the struggles that he went through in the first, actually a short period of time. Like, he got in and they pretty much a faction wanted him out pretty quickly. And one of the things that he wanted to do, which was different from what some of the people thought that was best for the people, was to negotiate peace. And he was like, he also orchestrated, or the way it was portrayed in this is that he was the one who came up with this idea to get their boys off of Dunkirk, where they didn't have any Navy ships to evacuate 300,000 troops, and then they sent basically over a period of, I want to say they said like 800 some basically civilian ships to go and get everyone out. And from my understanding, the percentage was very high of who they got out of there. But a lot of men lost their lives in order for that to happen. And that was a huge a strain and on him and the kind of the men who were making these decisions. So tough decisions. Like, it makes you really think about what kind of tough decisions we're making in a day. How, if you look at it from a different perspective, how tough are those decisions? But at the same time, not letting that. I mean, it is your life, and we constantly have to make decisions about our life. So I guess what I wanted to chat about is I found, after the movie, I pulled up a quote immediately after, and this is actually just quick. This is the other side of the stadium, and then this is a little bit closer to my apartment building. So there was a quote, and I'm going to butcher this, I know it, because I didn't look it up right before I started doing this, and now I think I'm a little bit too far in. Basically, the quote was, "Victory isn't lasting. Defeat isn't final. But the courage to keep going after either of those things, that's the real test. That's the place where you really find it. Because we're going to have victories. We're going to set a goal and we're going to get to the end of it. And then what? Right? That's something I found with I wanted to test this thing. Get at the end and find a new level of like fitness of an 8-week, and then just walk away because I don't have any game plan. And I'm fascinated by that, because sometimes you get to the end of something you failed, and in some ways you could look at what I did and it was a success, and in other ways it was a failure, because I ended up overdoing it in physical realms and ended up hurting myself, but then my body fat percentage was quite low. So it's a win on the body fat, but then overall my body suffered, right? Even when I was like trying to, what I felt was keep a good balance, it still creeped up on me. So I'm dealing with that. So the courage to continue to go even after you have a success or a failure, that's because what's next? What's next? What's next? Until the day, you're buried 6 feet under, or however, if you're cremated or whatever. You have to every day keep getting up, putting your socks on if you wear socks, one leg, pull your pants on one leg at a time, and just keep at it, right? And the courage to do that, like, I'm convinced that the monotony of life, that's where it's really at. That's where the real battles are fought and won. It's not in the excitement of the battle, either the win or the loss. It's going back to the drawing board and getting ready for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And the people who I like to think of who take this to a whole new level is these guys. Like, back in the day, I used to watch a lot of bodybuilding, or read a lot of bodybuilding, and those guys would literally train for pretty much a day, 2 days worth, and then even within that, it was only like 5 to 7 minutes of like performing. But that whole year, everything, every little thing, how they bulked up, how they dieted, how they balanced out their body throughout that year, that all came down to like 2 5-minute bits of time, right? And that was how they were looked at. And think of that. An entire year, you have to maintain a focus, maintain a passion, maintain that singular thing going towards that little tiny window of time. Like, same as an Olympian. Those guys have trained for 4 years, for sometimes the sprinters for 10 seconds, right? But the work isn't done in that 10 seconds. It's everything. It's all the hours, months, years that came before it. So just something to think about. Hope you guys are well. Keep moving, people. It's Binge the Body Whisperer. Have a good day.